Hello everyone, my name is Matthias and welcome to my commentated longplay video of the good old Ultimate Doom. In this video I'm gonna be playing through the first episode, Knee Deep in the Dead, and I'm gonna be using the ultra-violence difficulty setting. And let's get straight into it. In this video I'm gonna be talking about the music and the sound quite a bit. I love the music in Doom, the whole series. And I'm just gonna be playing through the first episode in my usual way. I will find all the secrets, all the secret areas in the episode, and basically just enjoying my normal run through this episode. And try not to make too many embarrassing mistakes. There will be a few, but anyway, I'll just be commentating a little bit about my own feelings and my history with this phenomenal series of first-person shooters. This is probably one of my favorite first-person shooters ever, actually, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Obviously, Doom was a huge, well, but also controversial hit when it came out in 1993, and I dare say that it hasn't lost much of its charm even now. And in this video series, I am obviously not playing the original DOS version of Doom. This is using a front end or a source port called Z-Doom, and it allows you to use higher resolutions, and as you can see there, some blood stains on the wall and bullet holes. I know, of course, much more, but since I basically like the original Doom, I don't want to have any 3D models on monsters or anything like that. So I have tried to actually disable everything, but I haven't found a way to disable the bullet holes. But you know, it's not a big thing. One of the things I really like about the Doom series is the controls. They are really smooth and sharp, and the character moves at just the right pace, and it's easy to control, and once you learn to use these controls, you can survive really tough situations and make it through really intense crossfires without a scratch. And it's actually very impressive that this engine, for me, this engine was the first engine that provided controls that were this crisp and very usable. For example, those imps. Once you learn how fast their fireballs will fly, you can dodge like 5 of them pretty easily, even if you don't even see them. Like, some of them might be behind you and throwing them, and once you hear the sound they make when they throw the fireballs, you kind of already know where to move and how much and how fast to move in order to dodge. And this here is a strange part. Where the hell did that guy come from? I'm like 99.5% sure that I already cleared that part up, but still I guess he bugged through the wall or something. That was strange, because this game is, to my knowledge, pretty much bug-free. Came back to get that soul sphere. It's the supercharge. Because, like everyone already probably knows, you can't increase your health past 100% without using a supercharge or those blue 1% health bonus bottles. And here it gets a little bit more claustrophobic. And I love it. Doom is, well, It is a suspenseful... Thanks, Matthias. Try to speak English. Suspenseful game. And here the lighting effects give a really nice feel. And this wall right here, I think this is the only secret wall in this game that opens by shooting. It doesn't open by pressing the spacebar. Chainsaw. It's a decent weapon if you know how to use it, but it's not completely safe. Sometimes the enemies can still attack you, get some hits in, even though you're trying to lock them down in the hurt animation. Yeah, this episode was the only one that was included in the shareware version of Doom. And this was mainly designed by John Romero, who later became infamous due to a certain game called Daikatana, but that's another story. I really actually like this particular area. There's a nice atmosphere, and it reflects the tech base theme that goes on throughout the first episode. Oh, look at that. Was that some very basic physics that I saw there? That guy sliding down the stairs. That was kind of rare. A monster's back facing you. Oh yeah, this part, yeah. Some Arnie style chain gun usage. And done. By the way, in Doom 3, there are some similar designs in the exit elevators and doorways as in this one. I like the tribute. This is the third stage, and in this level there is entrance to a secret level. The only secret level in this episode, the military base. And actually it's straight on over the pool of radioactive slime. But it can't be opened right now. Ooh, yeah, I love using the barrels. In fact, I think the sound that the barrels make when they explode, it's really well done. It's really satisfying explosion. And combined with the splattering visuals of the enemies, it's nice. This level also introduces a new enemy type, that pink-colored demon. What an imaginative name, you know. Well, I think in Doom 3 they were called Pinkies. The chain gun is an awesome weapon in this game. It's so good for crowd control. Basically, if you just distribute the bullets evenly. Something for everyone. If you just try to lock the enemies down into the ouch, I got hit animation. You ought to be able to really keep control of larger crowds too. Got a bit lucky there. Didn't see that guy. What's coming up is a room with the classic lights out trick. When you pick up that blue key card, that wall up behind you opens and these imps pop out. Yeah. Everyone probably remembers the first time they walked into that. The chaos. I'm gonna go into a secret area soon here. It was opened by one of the switches. This one right here. And this one includes two separate secrets that must be accessed consecutively so that you trigger the first one and only then you can reach the other one. those windows or panels on the walls will lower down, or there's a kind of a platform that lowers down when you touch a certain part of the staircase leading into this area. Here's the first one. And some imps. Supercharged, once again, I love those. And this is the second secret. So when you exit the first one, you need to run in order to make it into this one, because the platform lowers down, and unless you're running, you won't make it. You have to hurry, because the platform will go back up. And here's the chain gun again, in case you missed it from the previous level. Man, I really love the music in this game. Even though it's in MIDI, it's some very well crafted MIDI music. They really paid attention to it. And this map is pretty much done. I just wanted to come back here for one more secret, and there's a funny part here. It's like this huge army of former humans. Just hold the trigger, man. And some rocket launcher action. Here is the regular exit, but we won't be taking that since we want to go to the secret level. And this here is a secret that I learned rather recently about, actually. We never knew about this when we were kids. And this is an kind of balcony-like area with a lot of useful stuff, but there are enemies down there, so if you want to get out clean, you gotta leave pretty quickly. Just grab the gear and move out. Tiny mistake there. Forgot which wall opens first. And then the walls open once again. And the imps blow up once again. And that's pretty much it. There's one more secret right here. Here's the exit. And there we go. Off to military base. And some very proggy music. Here's some good use of the rocket launcher. This map has always caused me a bit of a headache. I can never figure out where to go. I always need to run around in circles for a while. And by the looks of it, it seems that UAC has captured some imps. And they were holding them in that cage up there. That's a funny entrance to a secret area. But it's a useful one. And here I make a little mistake. I assume that the room will open in the other direction, but no, it was the other one. And there's a huge army of dudes waiting. Yeah, I will be talking about some tricks that I like to use to deal with certain enemies in this video. For example, here you could see one of those. I like to trick the pinkies into triggering their attack animation and then backing off a little bit. You're gonna get a good shot of it at right here. This teleporter is gonna start spawning in enemies. I almost get kind of taken over by these guys. Spectres start swarming in pretty hard, and I get pushed way back into this room where it's kind of hard to see. It's the stealth demons. But I think I get 2 of them on one shot right here. There. I don't get bitten at this point yet. There's not a spot later where I do get bitten. But that one was scratchless. But in Doom, I think that you always need to choose the right weapon for each moment. Oh, just had to come back to get that one guy. No other reason whatsoever. And here the weapon is the barrels. The shotgun blows them up in one shot if you shoot them right in the middle. And here I forgot about that wall which opens up. But since I had the rocket launcher, no big harm done. Some more running around, wondering what to do. That wasn't such a good shot at the barrel. Or rather, the timing was bad. Army of pinkies. Wow, that sounds very terrifying. Got all keycards. Now it's time to find all the secrets and then get the hell out of here. Ooh, nice one. Spectres on both sides here. And I have to admit that these guys are the most boring enemy in this game. You just move forward and shoot and back down. And repeat, repeat, repeat. They're not that much fun to kill. I need to mention about the music in this level. It's very apparent. This one goes out to all the musicians out there. Many of the songs in the Doom soundtrack, as you can tell, were made using a certain pattern. First they take a riff or melody or whatever, and they play it on the first degree chord. And then they take it to the 4th degree chord, then back to the 1st. Repeating the same thing all over and over. Then to the 5th, then to the 4th, and back to the 1st. So it's basically a blues progression. You know, the very basic 12 measure blues. And they did this with almost every track in this game. It's almost kind of funny. Like, couldn't they come up with something different? I don't know. But it doesn't bother me actually too much. It's just kind of funny to acknowledge sometimes. Another thing that they did with the soundtrack was in the many songs they put on top of the melody or riff a fixed, constant major third harmony. It's not in every song, but it's in many songs. And that, in my opinion, gives the Doom soundtrack a sort of a unique perspective. In some of the songs, it's not a fixed major third harmony, but every time that harmony comes along, I always get that Doom vibe. It's really nice, I like that. Here's a secret, a room that, well, not a room, but this switch, when you flick it, that platform starts to rise, and you have only one opportunity to get on it. If you miss it, well, then you miss the Soul Sphere. I wonder if anyone else has ever paid attention, but the theme song of Doom 3, the one that plays in the main menu, that song also incorporates some of this blues structure thinking. I think the riff goes to the 4th degree. It doesn't go to the 5th and do the whole thing, but But I like to believe that it's still a tribute to the old Doom songs. I think it's kind of comical, like I said. I think it's kind of funny that they chose to go with this really simplistic method of creating music for a game. Like, let's take this riff and let's make it go through the usual blues progression. And then, hey, let's steal this riff from Slayer and like take half of the riff of the original and then just use that part in the blues progression, and that's it. The song is complete. But hey, we created a genre. Around here you can hear the major third harmony. Then you can hear the harmony of the chain gun. I always try to take out the shotgun guys, former human sergeants, I believe they are called. Try to take them out first. They're the real threat in the first episode of Doom, I like to think. Yeah, and the reason that I did not pick the Nightmare difficulty is that it's a kind of a sport already. It's just that the enemies respawn all over again and again, and it's really hard to progress. You always have to use cover all the time, be really cautious, and just the whole experience turns really different. It feels like a challenge mode more than anything. It's really intense. And I think the ultra-violence difficulty is the best to play this game on. There are a lot of enemies, but it's not insane. Well, in Doom 2 it's pretty insane. There are just so many enemies in that game that doesn't make any sense anymore. It's fun, but it's just crazy. So yeah, I recommend this this difficulty. I have started a save game playing this game on Nightmare, and it's fun actually. In a really masochistic way. It's a lot of save loading, really putting yourself to the test. But I like it sometimes when there's nothing to do. I feel like challenging myself somehow casually for a while, then I do that. Ooh. That was close. But when you play Doom, you get a certain feel for the weapons and the enemies, so that immediately when you press the fire button, you can almost instantly tell if you killed the enemy or not, even before you see the attack. The animation of the enemy, whether it's going to be the death animation or just a hurt animation. But you can already kind of tell subconsciously if you killed the enemy or not. That's how I feel. I suppose that's the case for most FPS games, really. You know, you just get that intuitive feeling. I think it's a sign of a very good game, actually. 23 minutes and still going strong. Up to Phobos Lab, and this map has a lot of secrets, 9 in total, even though you get a couple of them for free, because they're all slumped up into a group of 3. These guys almost get out of hand. I usually have the situation under control when I come to that doorway. Well, look at this. There's a little civil war going on. The Spectre biting that former human sergeant. And when you go to this balcony here, that little bridge will rise. There's a secret behind the barrels. And by the way, that sound that comes when you find a secret room, that's something that the Z-Doom added. It wasn't in the original. There was no sound whatsoever. And also no message. Was kind of stupid here. I didn't really need to waste all the chain gun bullets. Should have used the shotgun. And here's another secret, pretty obvious, with a different colored wall. The usual Doom trick. Wow, did he actually hit a barrel? I don't think I've ever seen that before, actually. And that was a lucky rocket. It was flying way too much to the left. And almost pulled the trigger there. But didn't. And down there is actually one of my nemesis parts of this whole episode. It's chock full of enemies, and there's a pretty bad ambush as well. Well, the ambush is mainly why this is such a bad place. And it doesn't matter which way you go, left or right. There's a similar ambush point waiting for you, and it's right past that barrel. And I shoot it in order to use the rocket launcher. Just back up in there and boom. That was relatively easy. But you gotta be careful because behind you they're gonna be advancing on you. I like how the Pinkies and the Spectres have some pretty considerable startup in their attack animation. When you hear the sound, you can still back up a little bit and not get hit. Triple secrets. Always check the shotgun guys first and then deal with everything else. Because they shoot the math bullets, so to speak. I want to get the chain gun ammo here. Just because this weapon is so damn useful in this game. And just enough time to skip over the radioactive slime. And there's another ambush coming up. There's shotgun sergeants on both sides. Actually, quite a few of them. Yeah. Barrel takes them. No. That was all. Map computer. I think maybe the first one. It should be. And here's a part that kind of defines the Doom experience. Dark corridors filled with demons to shoot. If only their eyes were glowing in red and everything, that'd be so awesome. I'm trying to conserve some chain gun ammo. But it's hard to see the Spectre in the dark. A couple of shots in the dark. And then one more. And one more. This here is a really cool part. With the lights going up and down like that. Really claustrophobic, really intense. Enemies coming from left to right. But then there's this secret. And we didn't know about this when we were kids, this secret. It makes this room a little bit more tolerable. And yeah, I really have to say that I really respect the meticulous work of John Carmack, what he did with this engine. Ooh, had some help from that guy. Properly thanked him. But yeah, seriously, about the Doom engine. Wolfenstein 3D came out a year before Doom, and it was made largely by John Carmack as well, but that engine was not very good compared to what would be the Doom ID Tech 1. It was kind of stiff compared to Doom. When Doom came out, everything changed. Like, this engine is so much more fluid. It's kind of amazing that there's such a big difference between the two technologies. Well, that was all secrets from this map, and the exit is right here. With these guys. I think they maybe overused pinkies a little bit in this episode, maybe. These guys don't really know when to attack you. They just go back and forth and... Even though you're blasting your weapons at them, they're just going back and forth. And yeah, on topic of enemies, do you have a favorite enemy in this game? Please comment below if you do. This game has a lot of memorable enemies, but I think maybe the imps are my favorite, in the sense that their fireballs create these nice dodge, amazing dodge moments sometimes. And it's fun to maneuver yourself between a lot of fireballs and try to make it without getting hit. And there are others too, but maybe the imps come to mind as first. The cacodemons, also from the second episode, they are very memorable, and they're really creepy too, but also sort of comical. They kind of look like flying tomatoes or something. And they have nice sound effects too. Very well made. A few daring shots with the rocket launcher. Because of the specters. They always get in your face and then you pull the trigger and... the rest is history. There's a nice drum fill. I don't know if you can hear it. MIDI drums, lovely. Crowd control, the name of the game. And here you just gotta note this one. Now you can search this area peacefully. Another supercharge. And we find our way into another secret. It was actually only recently that I noticed that the invisibility power-up actually does help you. There's a pretty good example coming up. You can tell when the enemies sometimes face somewhere other than directly at you, like that imp there. But check this, right here. See those two? They threw the fireballs and like completely off the mark. It does help, and when I was a kid I thought that it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that guy too, he corrected his aim at the last moment. here we're coming to the maze. Here you can find a map computer. Not that it helps very much, because I already know all the secrets in this episode. Yeah. The map computer is in a openable wall. It's not a secret, exactly. Well, no sir. There's actually an arrow pointing at it. But if there were no arrow, it might as well be a secret. It has all the Doom secret characteristics. The maze is pretty much cleared. There's just one secret up here. Some more invisibility. And an ambush. I'm willing to bet that those guys thought they were ambushed. Here it is. The way is clear, and all keycards collected. Now it's basically time to just get out of here. Yeah, also, by the way, that's idle animation of the enemies, where they walk in place, just not moving. That's something we used to joke about when we were kids, and it's somehow iconic of Doom. It's weird. Like, why was that? It wouldn't have looked bad if they just hadn't moved, like in Duke Nukem. Maybe they tried to somehow portray the monstrosity of the enemies, and somehow... Wow, now I'm proud. A supercharge that only adds 9% to my health. Trying to control the crowd here again a little bit. Trying to keep all the former humans in check. That one shotgun guy got a hit in. But basically just trying to keep everyone locked in the hurt animation. And actually the hurt animation is not a 100% guarantee that you are not gonna get hit. Because sometimes, I don't know, it's programmed in a way that sometimes they can break out an attack. Pretty crowded in there. No one knows what to do. Just killing each other. And there's a pretty big ambush coming up down there. And it's actually pretty dangerous if you're not prepared. One of the deadliest in this episode, in my opinion. Actually, I like that overlook quite a bit. This is a nice computer mainframe kind of hall. Really nice design. Well, that was a reaction shot. When you back up to that switch, the walls will open and all hell will break loose. Just gonna shoot out some rockets as fast as you can, and then proceed to deal with the rest. But the rest can be a little much because of the specters, and you can't really see shit in here. Some faint shadows. Well, that was okay. But you got another thing coming. Here. These guys give me a little trouble. I totally forgot about them. And here, I get really cornered. I actually thought that this is gonna be the end. I wanted to complete without dying. but well, I had pretty good health and armor left. And here's one more. Oh, he's bugged. Okay. Done. And if you pay attention to the names of these stages, they're kind of similar in Doom 3 as well. And in Doom 3, there's a little bit of some backstory or like you could say lore information about each area as you are loading. Second last map. I do not like this map so much as the others. It's got some cool designs, okay, but it's somehow disorienting. Not so much just plain fun as the others. My favorite is maybe the second map or third. That was in the distance. That was pretty weird. I never noticed that before. One of the former humans flew up the stairs when dying. I was ready for those guys, but not the ones down there. Caught me by surprise. They're still alive. It's things like that that give this map a really kind of annoying character sometimes. There's like enemies everywhere, in every direction. Well, in a sense that's good because this is a more difficult map. Well, plain and simple, this is more difficult. And since we're nearing the end of the episode, it's kind of fitting. Should have used a rocket right there. Well, here's one. But I think it might have exploded the two barrels too if I had placed it correctly. This is definitely putting me on my toes a little bit more. It's like enemies coming from every direction all the time. And that rising platform gives you a couple of secrets. First one here. Some disagreements out in the distance. Here's another one. The chain gun. The music in this stage is definitely more diabolic and more oppressive than the driving rock songs of the first half of this episode. There are some nice views in this map and this episode altogether. Some balconies and windows that give you a nice scenery. And it's not something you can always have in a Doom game. Actually, I didn't talk about this before, but the first episode, Knee Deep in the Dead, consists of the UAC base elements, like power plants and toxic material, waste disposal facilities, things like that. Something definitely man-made, as you can see here. Some computer mainframe or At least I guess it's trying to portray something like that. And I think that's a really cool thing about Doom, that these 3 episodes all convey a certain continuation. Everything gets progressively more diabolic. And there's a cohesive... Yeah, I can't... my synonyms in the English language are running out. My vocabulary isn't good enough. But anyway, there's a certain continuation of art direction and level design. You can feel more clearly what the level designers wanted to do with this game. They definitely had a good direction and a build-up from the start to the finish. What's going to happen? The Marine starts from the man-made UAC areas and then proceeds down more and more into the hellish scenery. And I have to say that that's something I really kind of didn't pay attention to, or didn't understand, or really didn't bother when I was small. But now it's a pretty cool thing. The story of a Marine and his gun. Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, there is a story in the Doom games. And in the first Doom, you're a Marine who has been stationed on Phobos, one of the 2 moons of Mars. And on Phobos, there is a Marine base which acts as a defense for the UAC corporation and their premises. And they are running these secret experiments on teleportation. And you have been stationed here because you denied or defied a direct order from your commanding officer, which was to fire upon civilians. So being positioned on Phobos is like possibly the dullest or most boring job a Marine can have. And then there's a distress call suddenly, and a squad of Marines is sent up, and then you hear the wails of your dying comrades somewhere. And then you are the only one left, and you need to kill all these demons by yourself. So, okay. And by the way, John Carmack wanted this main character to be nameless because he wanted you to feel the immersion that it's you inside this game. But then there's that face down there. What the hell? I mean, doesn't having a different face break the immersion a little bit? This is the last map. And man, I really love the music in this one. That wailing, lonesome guitar. Even though it's in MIDI, it works so well. The vibrato has been programmed really tastefully, in my opinion. And I can just dig this. And here's the boss room. The boss of this episode is a fight with 2 Hell Barons, those red goat-like things. I like the design in this boss area too. Look at that ceiling. Like, what is that slime doing up there? It's really nice, and it starts to get a little bit like chaotic and demonical. Demoniac. I think that's the correct word. You really need to deal with these specters first. And there are a lot of them, but you need to take them off first. Because once you release these guys, you need to start paying attention to them, because their attacks hurt. And there, yeah, there was one of the big mistakes. The specters will get on your face, and then you fire the rocket launcher, and yeah. I used to be really scared of these hell barons when I was a kid. That sound when they make when they die. That one. It's really, really odd. Really somehow unsettling. And yeah, we're approaching the end. I like to look at the map here. There's a nice design down here. And then what's left to do is to step into the teleporter. And there's the satanic imagery, which was pretty controversial. And then it's confusion for a while. And I actually like how that scene is like cinematic. They clearly try to make it into a somewhat movie-like thing, so that everything's really messed up and dark, and you can't tell what else is going on. And then suddenly, bam! You're like, it's cut into a cliffhanger. And yeah, some plot for you there. What the hell is this? Well, now that's it. We're done with the first episode of Doom, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording and doing this video. And we will continue our journey on the shores of hell and its amazing sequel, Inferno. And if anything came to your mind, please comment below. I always like to answer to any comments. And I'd like to invite you to watch the next episode once it comes up, Shores of Hell, and we'll continue to talk about the music and maybe get a little bit deeper into which songs were ripped off and who did that. Anyway, thanks a lot, everyone. See you next time. Bye.